Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Erickson truck bed ladder rack system here on our 2018 Titan XD. Now, if you're looking away, getting a lot of utility out of the bed of your truck, this is going to be an excellent option. Whether you just need to start carrying some things up top, going to be an independent contractor on your own, or a host of different reasons, this can be a great way of really utilizing the maximum space in the bed of our truck. As you can see, we have no trouble getting a host of different items. Dave was going ahead, throwing up that handy dandy ladder up there. I know a lot of us are going to be throwing those guys up on there. And one thing that's great about these guys, we are going to have adjustable load stops right out of the gate. I think that's one thing that's great about these guys. That system, pretty easy to use. The only thing with it though, you are going to need a wrench and kind of socket set to actually move it. So it's not going to be tool free to get them moved. So as long as we are keeping it with our vehicle at all times, going to have no trouble of actually adjusting those. Can be great. As you can see, you're getting that huge long crossbar. It can adjust across the entirety of it. So whether you just have one little small thing like we do here today, or a host of different accessories that you actually need to put on top of a rack, we're going to have no trouble actually fitting them on there. Now this guy does have a nice little powder coat finish on here. It's going to be of a steel design, so it's going to be holding up very well. As well as all of our hardware does come coated in a yellow chromate. That way it is going to be corrosion resistant. Not going to have a hard time leaving this on here for a lot of our weather purposes. So it'd be great if we even have this over the weekend, chilling at the job site, not going to be worried about it just degrading right out of the gate. Going to do a good job. And one thing about that too is the installation doesn't take too much time. And one thing that's awesome about it is we can actually leave this in this format, take off our clamps, and that way it can actually stay together. It can be really easy to store this in the garage, maybe in the rafters somewhere, and they don't actually take up too much room in this position, so it can be a really great way of either keeping it on our vehicle, throw it on somebody else's if we need to, and I think that's what really starts to shine. How these clamps work as we break down is very, very easy, and I do like how we don't have any drilling required. We aren't being damaging our vehicle as we actually get them on there, and they are going to give us a really good rack system on the back of our bed. Talking about it though, you can get about a 800-pound capacity on here, so I don't think we're going to have any issue at all getting a host of different things as we mentioned, especially with those adjustable load stoppers. It's going to be nice. So to get our installation started, I've already gone ahead and thrown on my front bar here. Now it doesn't take too much time to actually get all of these guys assembled. A lot of this hardware is just a lot of bolts and nuts being kind of thrown together. If you guys do want a more detailed kind of look at it, go ahead and check out some of our other product reviews on our page as well to make sure how those guys go in. They take no time at all to actually get them set in this position. And to actually get them started on here, all we simply do is walk up either of our ends to either side and start tightening them down like we're about to show you. So let's go ahead and move our way to the back end here to our rear mount. As you can see today, we've gone ahead and we already have our nice little hooks here that are actually doing most of our work. Now, a great part of these guys, as we mentioned, is that there's going to be no drilling required to make sure that this actually stays to our truck. Just using their nice little patented clamps, you can see we're going to get this nice kind of flush side up against our side rail on the underside here. And we just simply want to run our bolt all the way through. Try not to drop the other ones like I did. And just get both of our washers set and start tightening down each of our nuts. I like to make sure that my underside is in a good position here, because as we tighten this with our wrench, it's actually going to do a good job of pulling this up and in position. So I like to try to get it as tight as I can by hand. That way I'm making sure that that flush mount does get in the right position. As you guys can see, you can see how much more thread that gives you once you actually get it in that right spot. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my 19mm wrench, or sorry, ratchet I should say. And I'm gonna go ahead and just run these guys all the way until they're nice and tight. One thing to keep in mind, we don't want this too tight. We don't want to be damaging our side rails here. So I'd like just going until I get a nice little natural resistance, and then I'm gonna test each post as I go along. So not seeing too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a few more snugs here on either side. We are looking pretty good to me, so let's go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. Once we have our posts set, we actually come ourselves to our crossbar. Now these guys are easily loosened and untightened with a 19mm wrench and a socket set, just holding onto that back nut and backing these off. Now what's gonna happen is, as we tighten this in, it's gonna do a good job of pulling in this clamp, making it nice and tight. That way our bar isn't gonna be moving. Today, as you can see though, we do have it able to be shifted today as we've loosened this up. Now I've already gone ahead and matched either side here of our overhang. We wanna shoot about it being as even as we can, especially from the back of the truck, make it look way better if they are even. Not gonna be lopsided on one side. So a quick little measurement from either side of your posts. Today we have about 8 inches on each side, just kind of back and forth as we can do it. Makes it very easy to loosen that up as we mentioned. Then we just wanna go ahead and take our wrench and our socket set here. Go ahead and make sure we are tightening down. And we can just clamp onto our nut and start spinning our bolt in. Alrighty, and now we are looking pretty good. Once we actually have our arms set nice and tight in here for our crossbars, that just brings us to our last step, which is our load stoppers here on our crossbar. Now these guys are great as they are adjustable. You can slide them across the entirety length of your crossbar system within your post. That way, if you have a host of different things you need to actually get up on our ladder rack system, we can do so in a nice, easy manner. The only thing is though, they are gonna require tools to actually kind of maneuver and get set and get this nice and tight. And that way it won't be going anywhere. And now we have a great way of keeping our load from shifting across our crossbar, but also we are gonna get very nice tie down points for either our cam buckle or ratchet straps that we're gonna do to actually make sure that our ladder is secured to our crossbar. Well, as you guys saw, that installation didn't take us too much time at all. I'm a big fan of that clamping system. Again, we are going to be restricted on exactly where we can place it, so that's the biggest con in my opinion over it. However, if it's working great for us, it is working great. One thing I might do too, make sure you are shifting your load a little bit more towards your cab. We have a little bit of overhang here today. It's nothing that we'd have to signify, but it's definitely just something to keep in mind when you are putting all of your accessories on top of here. Another thing too, it is going to be a great entry level for that utilitarian look. I think it's going to work great. If you are just looking for something that's really going to get you going, this can be a great little option. These kind of hold-on ties on the end too just make it pretty adaptable. I like how easy those are to adjust across that bar. The only thing with that too is you are keeping those kind of tools with you at all times. However, most of us utilizing this guy are going to have needs for tools as well, so it won't be too much of a bother to throw it in the toolbox with it. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Erickson truck bed ladder rack system here on our 2018 Titan XD. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.